Hi. So it's Prime Day right now. One of my favorite things on Prime Day, of course, is to check out the board game deals. So I've gone through pages and pages of the board game listings, and I found 12 deals on Amazon Prime right now that I most recommend. I put links in the description for all of those. 12 is a lot, so I'm not going to go in depth with each one, but I'll briefly tell you why I think you might want to check it out. And again, links are in the description for any of these games. If you want to click on those and take a look at the pictures as I'm talking about them, I would invite you to do that. So I kind of put them in order of my favorite to highest recommendation to lowest recommendation. So the first one is 52% off. It is called Beyond the Sun. Now, there are a lot of family board games on Amazon Prime right now. Beyond the Sun is probably the best deal that you'll find for an adult game. This is not really one for kids. I love this game. You will see it featured on my top 10 space-themed board games. I think it's brilliant. 52% off. It's only $40.99. I definitely paid over $80 for this. It's a game that's all about technology, and during the course of the game, players are discovering technologies that give them actions in order to explore space, and all of the technology is shared, which makes it so interesting. That's all I'm going to say about Beyond the Sun. And the next game, I did a review for this when I first started the channel, actually. I think this is the first game I ever reviewed on this channel as a family board game, and it's actually an Uwe Rosenberg game. It's New York Zoo. So New York Zoo, much like many of his games, involves tile placement. So you're placing these polynominos in a zoo, and you're putting animals on them. The animals breed. When the animals fill a tile, you get a bonus. And then it's not a victory point scoring game, actually. It's just a race to see who can fill their zoo the fastest. This is a game my kids really like. My youngest one started playing it when she was 5, although it does say on the box, I'm sure it doesn't say age 5. It says ages 10 and up, but it's not actually that complicated. Cute game, and actually a good one for adults too. This is a very highly recommended family board game on many of the lists that I've made. Don't forget to check out the link in the description for more details on that. It's 31% off, so $27.49 right now. And then the next one, oh, I didn't put it aside. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it on my shelf right then. Did I loan it? I may have loaned it. Okay, the next one is a very highly rated. It's one of my top 3 on family board games. It's Kingdomino. Kingdomino's 30% off right now for $13.99. That's an excellent price. The thing with Kingdomino is you are drafting dominoes that you have to put into a 5x5 grid. So a domino, of course, is 2x1. You've got to fill them all in, and you get points for matching adjacent landscape. I wish I... my kids really like it. It's very accessible. There's a little bit of adding as kids count up their score. You're trying to get a combination of both matching terrain tiles and tiles that have a crown inside of them, because the crowns are worth points. And it's a tile drafting mechanic, but very easy, simple to play, really swift gameplay. And for $13.99, if you have kids of any age, Kingdomino, absolutely buy it. And again, check out the link in the description. So the next one is a game that I haven't played yet. I'm buying it right now. It's something that somebody recommended to me. It kind of deviates from the kinds of board games I normally described. It's called Catapult Feud. Link in the description. Catapult Feud is not so much a board game. It's actually more of a toy. You might want to check out and take a look at the pictures. What you're doing is 2 teams are building a wall on either side of a table. They're stacking these bricks, and then they have a little catapult. They're trying to knock the other team's wall down using their catapult. So it's actually more of a skill-based game. At least that's my understanding of it. I did a little looking into it earlier ago when somebody in the comments recommended it. Initially, I didn't buy it because it's skill-based, and I usually like games that are more strategy-based. But for 43% off, $22.99, I think that it's going to be worth trying. So that's the one that I'm buying. I don't know it very well, but yeah, I should recommend what I'm going to buy, right? Next game is a game that a lot of people really love. I gotta admit, I'm not such a big fan of it because I think it's more for the kids. It's called King of Tokyo. King of Tokyo is 44% off right now, $24.99. It's a great family game. Basically, you are controlling, or each player is controlling a monster, and the monsters are getting victory points if they're in the Tokyo space, and they're also getting victory points or when they attack each other. So each turn people are rolling dice, and they're rolling dice, and then they're using the effects of the die they roll to either attack other monsters or get into Tokyo and to have different effects and get points that they can use to buy cool card effects. A lot of people love King of Tokyo. Take a closer look at it. I think it's kind of too much of a kid's game, but it's so popular, and it's 44% off, so I wanted to put it on the list if you're interested in that. A lot of people I know think it's their kid's favorite game. The next game is a game I do highly recommend. We own it. I play it with my kids, and I play it with my wife. It's called Calico. Calico is another tile placing game, but it's very, very cute. You are putting tiles onto a quilt, and you're getting victory points if your quilt pattern attracts kitty cats. And so the cats are worth victory points, and if you can put tiles next to each other that are the same color, you get victory points for that. And then there are some other objectives that players are trying to pursue. It's a pretty serious game, actually. Very strategic, a lot like, well, another game on my list, Sagrada. But it's really cute, and my kids really like it. It's 45% off, $21.99. And again, if you're just joining me right now, I do have a list of all of these games in the description. If you don't want to watch the entire video, you can just click and check them out. That's Calico. So, the next game I don't own. It's many years old. It's like 20 years old or something, or more. But it's a classic. It's Alhambra. So Alhambra is another tile placing game. It kind of feels like a sister game of Carcassonne. You are drafting a tile that will score certain victory points based on the type of tile that it is. And then what I think is really interesting is you get points for the perimeter of your map. Man, it's been a little while since I've played it. I did think it was really interesting. It's a much more abstract game, and I would probably call it an entry-level game, but it's 29% off, $34.99, especially if you like a game like Carcassonne, or just like really simple, easy to understand classic games. Abstract, but it's a great deal. Alhambra. Okay, the next game is interesting because it can be played with many people. It's Welcome To. Welcome To can be played up, I think the box says up to 100 people, because it's a writing game. Each player gets a sheet of paper, and they're using a pencil to make marks on the paper as you go through. Now, full disclosure, I still haven't played Welcome To. I think I'm not really into, well, actually, do I like writing it? I think it's really interesting if you've got a large family, if you're looking for games that can play more than 6. A lot of games cap off at 6. Welcome To is really unlimited. You're trying to build a neighborhood in this game. It's 42% off. It's less than $20. It's $17.49 right now. If you check out the link in the description. So if a writing, it's not a roll and write. You're not rolling dice. You're flipping cards, but it's worth checking out, I think. The next game is also a great family game for a large number of players, but it's cooperative. It's a cooperative party game. There is no winner. It's called Just One. I post these different videos about top best family games, and I can't even tell you how many people have said, "Oh, Just One is our favorite game, our favorite game." I did buy a copy. I gave it to my mom because we usually play it when the whole family gets together, so I don't have it here to show you. But in Just One, players have a word that they're trying to guess, and everybody provides a single word hint to help get the word. So let's suppose the word is tiger. One person writes down stripes, another person writes down carnivore, another person writes down cat, okay? When these words get revealed, anybody who wrote the same word as somebody else gets their word taken out. So let's suppose multiple people said stripes. If two people said stripes, stripes gets removed, and all you have left is carnivore cat. And that makes it a lot harder for the person guessing, because there could be lots of carnivore cats, right? So you have to think of a good word that no one else around the table will guess. I do think it's either a 6 or 8 person cap for the game, though, unlike Welcome To. Just One is 43% off. It's only $14.23. Okay, 3 games left, actually. And again, if you're joining us right now, don't forget to check out the description, because you can look up anything you may have missed since this live feed started. You can check out what's down there, and you can just go directly to the game and look at the prices and the pictures and everything else. So the next game, it's 2 games. And again, full disclosure, I have not played either, but I've read a lot about the production company, and these are games that really intrigue me. Here, it's Cellulose and Genotype, okay? Cellulose and Genotype are both science-based games that have great mechanics. You have educational games that feel like the whole purpose is education game. There's a lot of like trivia games or like flashcard games where you're just trying to add numbers to like study math or something. Cellulose and Genotype, I'm bundling them together here, are about middle school biology. So Cellulose, obviously, that's about cellular biology, and Genotype is about Mendelian. What's the scientist's name? The guy who does the beans and checks out the you got your capital A chromosome and your B chromosome, and they make the little charts. That's the mechanic that drives this game. So they're science-based games. If my kids were in middle school, Mendelian. If my kids were in middle school, I would buy these games. My kids are in elementary school, so the level of science is just it's not really going to connect, especially with my first grader. But they're both 20% off. They're $39.99. Either one. I think they're both really interesting to take a look at. Cellulose, Genotype, same production company, both on sale. And actually, there's another one. I think it's called Subatomic, about the model of an atom too, that's on sale as well. 2 more left. So the next one is one that, gotta admit, I wasn't too thrilled by. It's called Fruit Picking. And the neat thing about fruit picking is it has a mechanic that I really enjoy. It's like the Mancala mechanic. So if you know Mancala, you pick up pieces and you move them around the board. You're dropping 1 piece off for each movement. So you pick up 5, you drop off 1, you got 4 moves left. 3, 2, 1, and then where the last stone lands, you get to do some action. So in fruit picking, what you're trying to do is pick up enough fruit to fulfill these order cards. Every time you drop off a little piece of fruit, you can fulfill an order, and then the winner is the first person to get enough orders of a certain type. So I think it's like you get a full house or something. So it's like 3 bananas and 2 apples, and you can win the game. Or another one might be 1 of each type of fruit. A watermelon and a banana, an apple, and an orange, and then that can win the game. But you've got different objectives, and so you're kind of racing all the other players, and you're picking up beans and dropping them off. The thing that I like games that are a little bit more complex, and so I have what's the one? It's so hard when you're live to remember the things. I have other games that have Mancala mechanics in them. So I don't like buying multiple games that have the same mechanic, but it is 20% off. It's $18.40. And it's a really colorful, bright game with very easy rules. So, if you've got a family, you want something that's going to engage them, they're going to look at it, it's going to look really pretty. I think you could take a look at Fruit Picking. And then the last one that I identified here is a game that I've only played on the electronic version. I've played it on my phone, but it's called Railroad Inc. And like Welcome To, it's one where players are writing on a pad of paper. So everyone gets a little piece of paper and a pencil. They're making these railroad tracks. They're getting points based on where their railroad tracks will go. And they're trying to complete the paths. The thing is, the path that they can draw depends on the roll of a dice. So you roll, oh man, what is it? 5 dice, 6 dice. You roll 5 or 6 dice and you look at the faces. And so maybe you've got one railroad piece that's just an L shape. It's got a little bend in it, or another one that's straight, or another one that's like a plus shape. And so you're trying to use a combination of railroads and roads to make connections on your own little pad of paper. And then you score based on how many connections you were able to make. But it's a swift game. It's really cute. I've really enjoyed playing it on my phone. I haven't played it with my family. It's definitely a family-friendly game. It's 38% off. 38% off. It's $12.49. I think I paid like $4.99 for the app version. It's like twice as much money, and I can have a physical copy. So I think that's definitely worth checking out. Okay, those are the 12 games that are currently on sale on Amazon Prime Day. I have put links in the description to all of those. And I'll probably be looking at it. I mean, Prime Day ends on Thursday, although I will say I believe the prices changed throughout the sale. So if you're interested in those, check those out now. I know I bought Catapult Feud right before making this video. Thank you for watching, and good luck on your